This video is sponsored by Kinsta, who are the highest rated managed WordPress hosting on G2. Now, it's fully managed, which means you don't have to worry about server or any kind of maintenance that goes on in that side of things. They work with the fastest C3D servers, which are provided by Google Cloud. And Kinsta is the only one offering that at no additional cost. You also have automatic backups, so you don't need to worry about your website blowing up. You have 37 global data centers, so you can make sure your website loads closest to your visitors. There's a global CDN enterprise level integration with Cloudflare, and Kinsta host more than 120,000 websites out there from small, medium to large size businesses, and they have 24/7 human support, so no AI chatbots to fight with. Hey guys, so we're now on to the organic SEO section, so we're bypassing the GMB listings or GBP listings and on to organic. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what organic is. I am in Glasgow and there's a place very local to me where my office is based called Hillington. So if I Google plumbers Hillington, obviously I will see the map listing, and then I start to see various different plumbing opportunities or people. Now you'll be able to see City Plumbing here basically have a page with a map on it saying they're in Hillington and that they're in Hillington and they do plumbing and bathrooms and whatnot. Not very well optimised, so it shows me that in terms of local search, there's not a huge amount of competition, even in Glasgow. Now what we do see is a lot of directories, yellow pages and so on and so forth. That would suggest that there's little to no competition. I could almost guarantee putting up a page of content targeting plumbing in Hillington would likely shoot me straight to position 1. I can't emphasise enough, if you do not have an article on your website targeting a specific area, you can't rank for that area. Almost impossible, unless you've got a mention or something like that. And some of these guys are ranking with a mere mention because no one else is taking the time to create a local landing page. There is probably not enough search volume in an area like Hillington. However, the point I'm trying to get across is whether it's for local or whether it's for e-commerce or national SEO, you are going to have landing pages on your website, which is the start of your organic search. So even if I Google something like red handbags for women, I don't know why I keep reverting to handbags, but hey, maybe I'm trying to tell you something, maybe not. Amazon have a handbags and shoulder bag page that ranks well for that term. Next, have red shoulder and tote bags, whatever the hell that is, page. That's a category page. So whether it's e-commerce, whether it's a local service, you need to have a page targeting that search term. With e-commerce, of course, next do have category assigned to that specific search term. As do House of Fraser, red handbags. They've got that in their title. And you'll be able to see some more content that talks about red handbags. It's only a small amount of content, but they're up there probably because of the House of Fraser and sheer power. Not a particularly well optimized page, but you get the point. That is what organic SEO is. That is why House of Fraser, when anyone's looking for women's red handbags, are likely to land in ASOS, House of Fraser, next Amazon, and a lot further down the chain is Marks and Spencer and various other shopping places. Now, you have to get your business up there if you want the large search volume. So again, if we go back to the likes of SEMrush and pull that up, red handbags for women, we will be able to see that there's not a lot of people that actually search for it. So certainly not in the UK, maybe in the United States, it's shown no data. There is keyword variations, red handbags for women, 90 searches per month. So it's also important to do your keyword research. Don't just wildly pee in the dark with something like red handbags for women. If people are not searching for that, then you're going to have to shorten down the search. So you go into SEMrush, like it says here, handbags gets global volume of 261,000 per month. And we can look at the keywords that actually get searched for, breaking it down. So people do Google Chanel, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, even black handbags, black handbag, black handbags, black designer handbag. These all get search volume, as well certain brand names, as well variations of the word woman, like lady. People do search for ladies' handbags, 2,400 of them. So you need to make sure that the research is done at the very start, because if you're inheriting a big website like Next, for example, then you're going to have to come up with a plan, do the research, plan, and then start to implement. So organic search, you are going to have to go in, see which pages you're going to use to target something like red handbags or black handbags or handbags for women. And that is what organic search is. So research is the first thing. Make sure that you do the keyword research. We've said that earlier on. I can't emphasize it enough. When it comes to on page, it's the first thing you have to be doing is the research and looking at the competition. How are they structured? And that's why, even going for a word like handbags, what are the top winners actually doing? What's the structure of their website? We've got John Lewis. We've got House of Fraser again. We can see that they have a bags and luggage and then just a handbags page. Handbags, designer handbags for women, that's their main category for that search term. We can see that. Now we can then go down their whole navigational structure. We can see that they do winter dresses, occasion dresses, party dresses, but you can see that little silo structure there. It starts with a generic search term like dresses. It then goes on to winter dresses, which is a completely different keyword, of course. Wedding guest dresses. And you can see the structure or the topical cluster that I spoke about earlier. So they talk about dresses, and then they've got some sub-category pages under that. The same for coats and jackets. They've got coats and jackets for women. Then they've got women's raincoats, women's shackets. First time I've heard of that. Women's trench coats for the flashers, women's fur coats, and so on. So you can see the whole silo structure at the top of the page. The same goes for men's. We want to go to men's backpacks. Then we've got men's black, blue, green, grey. I'm assuming they're the most popular colours. But could we add in red, pink, whatever? We would need to do the research. So making sure that you do get that silo structure written down and mapped out is really, really important. And that's the first thing you're going to do. Now, in most cases, you're going to inherit a website like this. Now, again, I'm going to be recovering some old ground here. Now, I'm just going to take men's waistcoats. Is that enough content to rank well generally? I know it's the House of Fraser, so we're talking about a really big, powerful brand. That's not a well-structured, well-optimized page. Of course it's not. But their title tag does target men's waistcoats, double-breasted tweed, and more. Could they have done something better? Now, double-breasted tweed, let's see how many people search for that. Double-breasted Weeds. Jesus, there is people that search for it. I wasn't expecting that. So double-breasted tweed gets 20 searches in America. It gets, overall global is 120. So it's not best use of a main category page. Is there something better that we could have had on there for men's waistcoats? Of course there will be. Now there's 43,000 people looking for waistcoats all over the world. And we can see, now obviously it says men's waistcoats, so we don't really need to worry about these other variations. But what else could we do that's better than double-breasted? There's wool waistcoats, there's specific things like that, patterned waistcoats. Breast is in there. Tweed is there. Maybe going after a men's tweed waistcoat might have been better. But again, we have to look at the search volume. But breast, as I say, off the cuff in my head, didn't make the most sense. It's only got 110 searches per month. Would have pattern, it's only got 90. Wool, 110. Men's suit and waistcoat. So yeah, again, you have to go through all of these kind of things. Even something like velvet, it's only got 70, but it's not far off the double-breasted thing. So you can get the importance of picking the keyword on your main category that gets the main search volume. If I wanted to rank for something really simple and easy, like red velvet waistcoat, then I could have a blog post or use the product specifically to rank for that search term. So obviously you can use the product page like this, Pat Grant Oxford WC SN41560544. That's nonsense. That's a waste of a URL. We look at the title and someone has said it's a Patrick Grant studio. Doesn't look like a studio to me. Pat Grant Oxford, and then it's got a code in there. Now, unless someone's looking for that specific code and they know who that is, then that's silly from an SEO perspective. Could we have, again, used research Patrick Grant suits, or Pat Grant, try that, Pat Grant suits, doesn't get any search. It only gets 20 searches a month, but Patrick Grant Studio really doesn't make any sense. So even big websites like the House of Fraser have poor on-page SEO. So you want to make sure you've got a good category and utilise your product pages for the colours and other variations of keywords. Now, when it comes to local, again, if you want to be found in Glasgow, you can have a page about Glasgow, but what about the people that are searching surrounding Glasgow or with areas within Glasgow? Again, you have to do on-page SEO for that and create an article using ScaleNut, Koala Writer, or any of the other tools. You have to have a landing page for everything, but also you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's only so much you can say about being a plumber without being repetitive. So if you've got 40 areas you want to cover in and around Glasgow, then you could put all of those pages out there. You are going to have to change it up somewhat. However, you're going to have to, you can't sit there and think, I can't write 40 pages about being a plumber and, Glasgow, Edinburgh, and stuff like that. You can paraphrase that stuff using a tool like Quillbot, which I'll just pull up on the screen for you. So Quillbot.com is just a paraphrasing tool. It's an educational tool. So I could go and grab a piece of content. Let me see someone who actually has content on here. I'm going to change the search term actually to Plumbers Glasgow. Or even emergency. Plumbers Glasgow. because they're likely to have a landing page for that search term. So let's scroll down. Emergency call out, Glasgow Plumbing Services. Let's say I want to borrow this guy's content. Can steal it all. Let me scroll down. He's got pictures and everything. In fact, let me change to a different page. Boiler service. Hopefully he's not got as many pictures. This might be a better page to steal, just for copying and pasting reasons. So let's say I wanted to steal. Yeah, that's a much better page to steal. Let's say I wanted to take all of that. You can use a paraphrasing tool, and it will just go and rewrite it for you over here using different search terms and everything else. Now, I'm not saying stealing content's the right thing to do by any stretch of the imagination, but there's only so much you can write about installing a boiler. So when you create your own content, you can then paraphrase that for each and every individual area using a tool that will use different words, different fluency, different creativity. There's lots of different settings up the top there, and it will make it unique for each and every individual page. So Quillbot is a great tool for that if you're doing a large volume of local landing pages. So that is the start of on page, but there's a hell of a lot more to it. So watch the next video and we'll go through all of the rest of it.